are live.
Oh my god! I don't have a bit. I don't have a bit of the week. What I do have though is wet hair because I just returned from a leisurely bike ride.
A
And now I
leisurely
had a
bike
shower,
ride.
and I still have slightly damp hair, which is fine because it's still summer.
Ah,
The
well,
last vestiges of summer are still there.
well, good for you, Daniel. It's the last vestiges of winter here in New Zealand.
See, like it's getting better for you, whereas I'm going into the darkness.
True indeed. No, actually, we've had some nice days here that sort of hint at like a bit of spring, maybe. I must have told you this before, but Wellington gets two springs. So everything
wow.
kind of goes like. Um, I say this like it's a proper thing. It kind of is a proper thing, I guess. But like it's so you end up with like, oh, it's spring, everything's kind of nice, and then no, it's not. So you get about 2 weeks of that, and then about probably 4 or 5 weeks at least of it being really windy, really rainy, really not very good. And there's an interesting, there's an internet meme that describes the wheel of the year with Wellington's seasons. And you have spring 1 and spring 2, and in the middle, that bit in the middle is called Shitsville.
I like that.
Yeah, which I will find it, post it to Mastodon, and link it up because it always amuses me. And every year I'm like, oh, come on now, that's just a silly internet thing. And then every year we get this blip, and I'm like, it's not that silly. It's
Do you know what causes it? Is it like, I don't know, currents from the sea or winds or dragons
I
or hobbits?
dragons probably. Yeah, I have no idea. I'm assuming it's some sort of like cycle with Antarctica or something that blows weather up our way. But yeah, never. I
It's pretty cool though.
haven't
Like
looked it up.
you get like a sneak peek at spring.
You can. You really can.
Very nice. Speaking of
But yeah.
Wellington, I got flirted at by a Kiwi yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you after the intro. Hey, welcome to Waiting for Review, a show about the majestic indie developer lifestyle. Join your scintillating hosts, Dave and Daniel, that's me, and let's hear about a tiny slice of their thrilling lives. Join us while waiting for review. See, I can do the teaser too.
You can, but now you've teased me. I want to know. Keep going,
All right.
Daniel.
So, as you may know, as a frequent listener of the show, I like TelemetryDeck is now hosting all our stuff on Amazon AWS, and like last week or so, my contacts at AWS, because you kind of get like assigned a technical representative and a just like a business representative, and both of those are very smart, sympathetic, and actually pretty nice people, and they were writing to me like, hey, there's an event in Munich at the AWS Center. Do you want to come? It's nice, it's social, and it's outdoors. And so I'm like, you know what? I am going to come there. And so I went to the building, and it's very nice. It's like, I don't know, 10, 20 stories maybe. It had a fantastic rooftop with a really nice view over Munich. It was like late afternoon. There was vegan food even.
Nice.
And drinks and stuff. And I actually also I was like, I'm not going to drink anything because I kind of got to take the train back, and I probably got to leave early. But then I met a buddy who's like, hey, you're here, cool. I can take you back in my car. And I'm like, okay. So I actually met a few potential customers, and actually maybe someone whose customer I will become, because it's they're a company that helps with compliance to various standards and security protocols and stuff like that. And I think one of the next topics for TelemetryDeck is NIST2 compliance, which is, I don't even know what right now. I don't even recall what it actually is, but I think it's computer security. And
yeah,
you got to comply with that. Then, like, it's better for especially large customers. So yeah, And then I talked to this very nice person from Amsterdam, who's the founder of the compliance company.
Yep.
And we all have these badges. And usually when you and it says like my name, and usually what's underneath my name on these badges is TelemetryDeck, because
Yeah.
like usually you apply for a slot on these events, and then it will print a badge, and like, you can enter a company name, and they will just print it on there. Somehow they didn't do that. Instead, well, I think what they wanted to print there was this person, as any visitor, has to be escorted from the front desk to the location of the party. But what it said was Daniel Jilg, Escort. So while I'm having
Okay.
this conversation, out of nowhere, like this tiny woman comes up to me and is like, "Are you really an escort?" And we get to talking, and I'm like, "Yeah, of course, but you can afford me." And we get to talking, and she's a Kiwi, but she's been living in Germany for ages and whatever. And yeah, like she kept trying to negotiate a price. I'm just I don't know, like buy a stake in TelemetryDeck, and then we can talk.
Oh wow, Daniel! I
But
wasn't sure what to expect, but
that was really fun. Like if the whole startup business doesn't work out, like it's nice to have like a backup to fall back on.
absolutely. I'm picturing you now arriving to these things, sort of like wearing a suit, but like this is
But no
this
shirt.
sort of look. Yeah, yeah, and it's Daniel Yilg, escort. Uh,
Hi.
oh man.
No.
Ah, Daniel ASMR mode.
It's even better, right? Anyway, yeah, that was pretty fun. And yeah, I met some cool people. I had a
hmm
few beers, and
Yep.
I still came home early enough to get to bed at a reasonable hour. So that was kind of nice.
Excellent. Well, at least you've got a backup business plan, and
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, and you actually came back with customers for your actual business, which
I
is
mean, like
cool,
they haven't
or
signed up
potential
yet,
customers.
but
Yeah.
like definitely leads. Like
hmm
the we I met we have an advisor that advises us on mostly business matters, but also a bit on sales and like technical stuff. And so this guy was at this event, and I didn't even realize. I just went there, and suddenly he's like, "You here?" And I'm like, "You here? Cool, awesome." And so what he kind of did, without like me realizing this at first, is like he kind of just like started putting me in front of people, and one was like, "This is Daniel. He does TelemetryDeck. Can you tell them about that nice little technological detail that you told me about?" And I'm like, "Yeah, of course. The double hashing
hmm
prevents any personal identifier." And I don't know. I'm just like very excitable about about hashing.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it was, and that seems to have like that was like we were like a really good team in that, because he kind of broke the ice, and then I could talk about stuff that is very interesting to me, and like with a few people, especially with these technically minded people like that
hmm
were at this event, like it just clicked a lot of the time, and they were like, "Oh yeah, I gotta have a look at this," and like a few people actually signed up just to be subscribers to the newsletter. A few other people like connected with me on the best social platform, which is LinkedIn.
hmm
Um, and yeah, and a few were like, "Yeah, this we need to talk about with our bosses or whatever." But they seemed very interested, so that's kind of nice.
I'm not going to debate you on the best social media platform there. But I did note. Sorry, this is a bit random, Daniel, but I
Mm-hmm.
noticed that LinkedIn has short form videos. They've done the same as Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. They've got
Ooh, I'm gonna post my TikToks there.
you could do, and yeah, it just occurred to me we've got shorts for this show. that you've been putting onto TikTok as well.
Totally. Yeah, I'm gonna look. I'm gonna have a look later if the platform that we use has the ability to post scheduled posts to most platforms. I'm gonna have a look at if they support LinkedIn as well. That would be pretty neat.
Yeah, that'd be kind of fun. It's anybody listening or watching, I'd be very interested to know if you've come across any of our TikToks, because they have been going out for a little while from this show.
If you actually see me talking right now in a short form video and not on the main podcast, leave a comment immediately. Say hi. Also, if you're in a car, honk your horn twice.
Nice.
For analytics and stuff. Speaking of TikTok, though, I actually I was going to post more TikToks, but then my week got kind of hectic with all the events. But also, I saw a TikTok that was like a data race, a line chart race, basically. So like you probably have seen this before. If I describe it to you, like it's a chart, but it starts empty, and then the lines start appearing, and like they take a while to get to the end, and it looks like the chart is like zooming out. And usually there's a surprising development. Like the one I saw was like, I don't know, population sizes of the different European countries or something like that. And I was like, I can actually do that. So I kind of sat down and tried to make a data race TikTok kind of chart, which basically is just a line chart or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I kind of got distracted and I didn't post it. And it's not finished yet. But look for this. Look for it on the short form video platform of your choice in the next few days.
Nice. What's it charting, Daniel?
I like basically I was still in the like if I build this once, I can use it to chart chart a few things. I was going to use it to chart just like iOS major version over time.
Yep.
But also I really want to look at Vision Pro users by country, because especially by country, it's kind of disappointing still. Like it's not a flop, but it's just very stagnating,
Yeah. I just have nothing to say about the Vision Pro right now. Like I'm sort of waiting for it to.
The hardware is so cool, but the locked downness in combination with the App Store policies, in combination with the fact that even Apple is not putting out any content to run on the thing.
Yeah.
And then you look on eBay and you can buy them for half the price. Which I mean,
yep.
Go a bit lower, and I'm like, come on.
Maybe. Yeah. Oh, I don't know. It's we could talk about that, but I'm not gonna. We've got some new devices on their way, probably within a few weeks. So yeah, the Apple event is imminent. I think I checked. It's from when we're recording, it's about 10 days away. So, but I think when this show goes out, because we already have one ahead of it, it'll be either just happened or on its way, like within a day or two. So new iPhones. It looks like.
Yeah, the tagline. I went on Apple.com because I like the tagline was something with glow, I think. And it doesn't say the tagline here anywhere on Apple.com. Which I was gonna make fun of the tagline because it's something about glow. Glow. I don't know. Okay. I'm not gonna find it now on the air, which is kind of disappointed. Hang on, I'm gonna Mac rumors. I'm sure they have something.
I'm having a quick look
because I have thoughts on this, but I want to make fun of it in like the correct way.
Well, while you compile your thoughts, I'm just having a quick scan myself. Um, do you know, the only thing I think I'm really, truly excited for is a potential update to the iPad mini,
Oh,
which is
okay.
such a
Why is that?
specific little thing. Um, it's such a cute device, and I sort of feel
It is.
really disappointed that they've kind of left it mired like on older hardware now. I mean, what it was it the first one? Hang on, the latest iPad Mini was the first one to go to USB-C out of the mini range, and it
Mm-hmm.
has support for the pencil as well. Um, and yeah, like I said, it was just a really fun little device. I found that I had one when I was working in my previous job, had one as a test device. And when I left, I kind of wanted to keep it. It was like just this perfect
Aw.
little thing. Yeah. Uh,
I used to be a fan of the big iPad, the 12-inch one,
mm-hmm.
but actually, I can totally see that because, especially recently, like I have a lot of the time I have my laptop with me because just in case like the server needs me basically. um, but I feel like especially now where we're not on Kubernetes anymore and a lot of the stuff that I'm doing is just in a terminal,
Yep.
I could probably do certain emergency work just with an iPad. Like I can do a bit of emergency work on the phone, but not enough actually, because just
Yep.
the screen. Like what I would need actually is a iPhone Pro Max that kind of folds up. Like, have you seen Westworld, the TV show? They
I've
have these
not, no.
phones. Like it takes part in the near future, and it's about
Mm-hmm.
robots and stuff. But they also have these phones, and they are not front and center, but you just see them like someone will have a phone that kind of looks like an iPhone, just a slab of metal, very thin. But then they put it down on the table or something, and it folds up like left and right, and it becomes a tablet. And I mean that is just the perfect. That would be the perfect device for me. And I guess like that is
Mm-hmm.
probably 20 years away, but oh, like something
Yeah.
similar like that. Like I was very skeptical of foldable phones and tablets for a while because of the crease and everything, but I feel like I'm ready. I'm ready for a foldable device, which Apple is not going to announce. And
Not this year,
if
no.
like this year, and even if they were to announce it, it would be like $3,000 or something
It would.
because it needs to
Yes.
have like two screens, right?
Yep.
But it's nice. It's nice. Anyway, I found the title. I found the tagline. It's glow time.
Ooh.
Uh, it's glow time, and the logo for that is a very stylized Apple logo in the style of the new Siri, which is the glowing Siri, right? And
Okay.
that was my thought. It's like they are not even gonna ship the new Siri and the new intelligence features until iOS 18.1. So it's not gonna ship with the new phones. So
No.
what exactly is glowing? And also like it's still not sure if they're gonna ship this in the EU. They might
Yep.
not. Like apparently in the newest betas, if you just switch your language settings to English, it's kind of back. But I mean that's kind of weird too.
Oh
Um,
dear.
but yeah, like what exactly is glowing here?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Um. Hmm. Can you link me there? I need to just take
Hang
a
on.
quick look.
I will put it in the show notes. So I'm going to link it to you and also our millions
Well,
of
listeners.
listeners.
Indeed. Okay, so I see the glow.
You got it.
Yeah.
We're glowing with excitement.
Well,
Excitement, says
indeed.
Greg Joswiak. Glowing with excitement. The
But
thing is,
yeah.
it's actually time for me to get a new iPhone. Mine
Right.
is the 12. I have the 12 Pro
Yep.
Max, and it's still good, but I feel like I can just right now. I kind of afford to get a new one,
Okay.
and I feel like I'm due for a camera upgrade, especially, and a battery upgrade too. So yeah,
Nice.
I'm going to like if there's nothing like that's completely anti like if they I don't know if they announce a thing where it will just like stab your hand twice a day to draw blood and send that for DNA tests or whatever.
Hmm.
It's very likely that I'm going to get this one.
Nice. Nice. So
But
you're
I'm
going to go
still
to like the Pro
disappointed.
Max side again.
Yeah, yeah, I'm a big
Yeah.
phone person.
Fair. Fair. You like big phones and you can't deny.
That is correct. What I also like is colors. So currently I have the 12 Pro Max in dark blue, which is the most colorful an Apple Pro phone has ever been. And apparently, if you can believe the rumors, the new ones are just going to be either metal or black, light gray or dark gray or space gray. I think the color names are different, and I think there's also one that is called I want to say bronze or something, but it's just like slightly saturated gray.
Yeah.
So I don't even know which color I'm gonna get because all of those sound so incredibly boring.
You could just have to get a case at that point, right?
But
And just add color to
I
the
like being
case.
caseless.
Fair, fair. It is a nicer way to run the phone, but
You just like walk around your naked robotic core just out in the breeze. It's just a nice feeling.
damn you, damn
It's
it.
although actually like for I have a case for the bike. So
Yes.
for
Okay.
biking, I have this case that's by Quad Lock, not a sponsor yet, where you can like just attach it to the handlebars, which is kind of nice. But usually, if I'm
Yeah.
not on the bike, I have the phone completely without a case.
Oh,
So let's see.
I've
Yeah,
got
I
the
might just get a case or something.
I've got
But
the 14
uh huh.
Pro, and I've got it in a clear case, so I kind of can see the purple. Um,
Oh, it's the purple one. Oh, that is nice too.
yeah, yeah, it kind of had to happen, and it's timed for my 40th birthday as well. So yeah, it was a nice circumstance, but I don't know if I will upgrade it. I'm curious. To be fair, I am actually curious about the new phones, and you know, we've had a few shows where I've sort of expressed quite bordering on anti-Apple sentiment these days, right, in terms of how they're behaving. But you know, my iPhone is still my favorite device, and
Right.
you know, the camera is my default camera. I don't have anything else that I'm taking photographs with not right now, really. So that could get me to an upgrade within the
Mm-hmm.
next few months. But I think I would probably end up doing what I did 2 years ago, which is just waiting a little while, like waiting for the initial rush to go, see how people enjoy them, especially this year, like especially with everything that's sort of coming with Apple Intelligence and that side of things. If I wait a couple of months, like yeah, 18.1 will be out. And all the initial reactions to everything that they're adding in with iOS 18 for the new phones, like, is that'll all be there. So for me, it's a wait and see. But I can understand if you're right in the market for a new phone. Day one's probably quite exciting this year.
I mean, let's see. Let's see if it's really day one.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm I'm excited to get a slightly improved phone, like especially with the slightly improved camera and just like a new thing. At the same time, I'm wondering like what can they even do? Like what is there's it feels like there hasn't been a really like a big innovation in the with the phones for a while
Yeah,
now. And there are rumors of foldable iPhones, but they're at least a year away, if not
at
longer.
least, and if
So the
they
question is
have
like,
them, they've been kept very secret in a lot of ways.
yeah. So the question is like, what will they even do?
Yeah,
It's
and I
just
don't have a
like
good answer for
the
that.
three
I
burner
we're
stove is gonna get bigger, and it's
Yep.
probably the what's it called, the Magic Island? No, the the island thing is
Yeah,
gonna
the
get smaller.
dynamic island. Yeah,
Dynamic Island, of course.
dynamic island. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. I really don't know, Daniel. It's yeah. This is the other side of things with the phones now. Is I think unless you're feeling very much in the market for an upgrade, for a camera, for better battery life or a bit more speed or whatever, then I certainly feel like annual upgrade cycles are just a bit silly now in a lot of
Yeah.
ways.
Thing is, you kind of convinced me, or at least whetted my appetite for an iPad Mini now. So I am. So if they release a new one, I
Yep.
am gonna look inside my soul and see if I can truly, truly think that this would help me in the job. And if yes, then maybe I will have to talk to my boss to buy it for me, which is
Your
myself.
boss. Yes.
Actually, I would talk to my coworker, because that's one of those things where like we kind of sanity check each other every now and then.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I'm going to expense this thing to use in this way. Yeah. I think if you do that, it would be it would be the iPad Mini with a pencil.
Why
Like
the
that would be
pencil
the
then?
right route. Uh, because I feel like that's where it then becomes a little bit more alive in terms of note taking and that end of things. Like, because it's just the right sort of size to hold like a pad, like a
Mm-hmm.
small paper pad. And I suspect you might get a lot out of that.
Because I'm not sure. Like, because Alex has the regular iPad with the new pencil,
Mm-hmm.
and like she gets a lot of usage out of that. But I'm just like, I tried it. It's very technically impressive, but like my handwriting is just so bad. Like, I
Maybe
don't
not then. Maybe not.
I wanna type.
Yeah, fair, fair. Well, you could always, assuming they're compatible, you could always borrow
Oh yeah,
Alex's
totally.
pencil and
And
see.
I think I have
Yeah.
I have the old pencil, but that will
Mm-hmm.
that work with new
No,
iPads?
no,
Ah, too
almost
bad.
guaranteed not. Yeah.
Too bad. What else will they announce? Do we have any rumors?
There's always rumors,
All
but
four of the new iPhones are expected to have the customizable action button and a new
okay.
capture button for taking photos that will have built in gestures, such as swipe for zooming in and out or a soft press for autofocus. The capture button will be on the right side of the devices below the power button. All right, that's kind of neat.
Yeah.
A18 chip. No other major new features are expected for the standard phones. The Pro lineup will get an increase in display size, going from 6.1 and 6.7 to 6.3 and 6.9 inches.
Okay.
5x telephoto zoom. Also an Apple Watch with a thinner design, but the change
Hmm.
won't be radical. New models of the AirPods, but not the Pro, apparently.
Yep. That figures.
That's all that Mac Rumors has to say. Also, someone
That,
said something about an iPhone SE, but it doesn't say it in this Mac Rumors article that I also linked in the show notes.
well, they can space some of these things out as well, is the other thing. There's nothing to say the SE has to
You know
drop at
what's
the
going to
same
happen?
time.
They're going to release the Pro phones in the super boring colors, and then I'm going to buy one. And then about 14 seconds after it arrives, they will announce like a second charge of the Pro phones in cool and exciting colors coming out just before Christmas or something.
Yep. Yep. That was the other year they did that with the regular iPhone
Right.
12. There was an update that then brought it out in purple, and I was absolutely suckered right in for an upgrade on that one at the time. So that was my previous phone to the 14 Pro. So I don't know. I mean, if I upgrade, then I'm going to break my purple phone streak, which is meaningless. But
How long has that purple phone streak been going on? Like, how many purple phones do you have?
two,
Are
so
there
three and a
other
half years.
purple phones?
I
Or is it
do
just
not
this one?
know. I do not know.
You
I
should just get a purple case then.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Purple case. Purple
Oh, damn it,
case.
Daniel. Right, okay. We are way into weeds. This show has gone all over the place.
We are talking about Apple stuff, so that counts. But yeah,
It does.
we should probably get back to the show notes or the topic list, which says Dave built something. Tell me about what you
I'm
built.
building something, so hopefully by the time this show goes out, I'll either have
Oh
it
yeah,
already in the
like
store. Yeah.
like Apple Notes is showing like your icon, like your face, like in front of
Mm-hmm.
the word building, and so I kind of misread it.
Well, that's fun. Um, yeah, so we spoke on the last show about the designs that my friend Chris, I commissioned the designs for this bit of my app from him. He's given me the Figma files. I've got a lovely Figma demo, so I'm often just trying to stand this thing up now as per what Chris designed for me. It's coming together quite well. It's probably not much value to listeners for me to talk through audio descriptive as to what it does, but uh, the biggest, I think the biggest thing about this change is it's moving from a very constricted design to a much more flexible design. And already I'm kind of feeling, even now I've studied it up, I've got a list with all of these effects in. There's a preview at the very top, and I'm about to add the controls. So when you select an effect, a panel pops up from the bottom, and you're able to then control the effects from there. And it's already feeling nicer as I'm playing around with my development
Fantastic.
version. Yeah. So I'm hopeful this weekend I'll get a test flight build out. And either by the time this show is out, that test flight build will either be something I can link so people can have a look on at the test flight, or I may well have just gone all the way through to production and landed it in the store. So we'll see. This is one area of the app. If I get it nailed and it's working nicely, then there's no big deal in terms of then pushing it through as the next update. So yeah, we'll see. I really need some user feedback on it before I can send it out into the world, because it is a pivotal area of the app. But so far, I'm loving it. Going to get it to test flight really quickly, hopefully, and then also I'm going to have just a good play with the app myself, and I'm kind of looking forwards to that. I something that is kind of ironic. I make this app for mixing video.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's for live VJ performances to music, and I make very little time to do that with my app. So I'm
Yeah,
always
I get
working on
that.
it, but not playing with it. Yeah. So yeah, that's me. But it's I'm trying to think of what's probably been interesting with it, in a sense of like listeners can take a look at the design
Mm-hmm.
when it's up in test flight or the store. But yeah, for me, it's proven out a few things as well. Like earlier in the year, I did a big migration with SwiftUI out of the design pattern I was using before and into more of a straight SwiftUI by numbers sort of approach. So I had quite an involved design pattern before. It was my router design pattern. Um, and I unpicked all of that, cut out a whole load of the dependency injection, started just using environment objects and, like I say, very much vanilla SwiftUI. And that keeps bearing fruit. Like, again, I've wired in this screen to test. I'm passing all of the state and everything to it in the way that it needs to receive. And it's let me kind of hot swap this screen in place of the old one very easily without having to worry too much about anything else. So yeah, I think that's just something to note. Is I went that route to make it really easy to keep working on my apps in my spare time, and it seems to have been the right thing. So I do really enjoy SwiftUI for all of that.
Nice. Imagine
Yeah.
going back a year. Like you probably wouldn't have said that. That last sentence.
No, probably not. But I'm enjoying the fluidity. Right, it's one of those things where when you lean right into it, and if you can forgive the rough edges that it still has here and there, or work around them, then the fluidity that you get back in the middle is just a really enjoyable way to program. For me, at least. I know some people
I
hate it.
totally get that.
I
Yeah.
love it. Yeah.
No, I totally get that. Also, the thing is about environment objects as compared to dependency injection. Like, I'm actually doing a similar thing with the web front end application for TelemetryDeck, where I'm kind of moving away from a pattern where it injected everything into all the,
Mm-hmm.
for better word, views. They're called components
Yep.
there, but they're basically SwiftUI views. And I'm also moving to what's there called services, but it's all basically also environment objects. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
this is so much better. You just place the component there, and it just reacts to the environment as it should.
Yes.
And I was like, I always thought that that would make things less testable, and it actually doesn't. So it's kind of nice.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's one of those things, right? It's for me with this migration from I had a whole blog post. I think I've still got that up. But from the router design pattern that I had, the evolution of that was sort of twofold. At the time, I laid down that pattern because, uh, yeah, I didn't really trust the way SwiftUI was actually pushing for dependency injection. Didn't believe that it was giving me what I needed for sort of testability. And in my day job, we very much needed to ensure that we were testing quite a bit. And there was a whole lot of other constraints as well. You can look up the blog post I had, but I tried to make it a least messy approach to this sort of stuff, right? In terms of, I figured that eventually things were going to get to a stage where what I wasn't getting from SwiftUI would be there, and I would be able to kind of move out of that pattern. And obviously, I don't work in that job anymore, and I hope they've probably done something similar now. But with GoVJ, with my app, that's what I experienced earlier this year, and that sort of evolution from what I had has now happened. But there is something there in terms of my approach to dependency injection was informed from UIKit, right? And informed from what we didn't have in UIKit. Um, for
Someone
that
looked
end
at
of
my code
stuff.
earlier this week and was like, "Are you building the UI responder keychain in JavaScript?" And they were right.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, the first couple of goes of building a design pattern for Swift UI was informed by design patterns like the coordinator pattern for UIKit and approaches to dependency injection that I'd experienced with that. And pulling away from the router pattern earlier this year and into, like I say, vanilla Swift UI, if you like, and leaning on the environment and environment objects, it feels like the last sort of vestiges, if you like, of UIKit are starting to drop from my headspace. It's still there, like I built an app with UIKit a couple of months back. That was my Looper app because I wanted it to run on iOS 12. But yeah, I don't miss that mentality, if you like. The more I lean into what SwiftUI offers, the happier I seem to be when I'm coding on these things. So yeah, you're right. Maybe certainly 2 or 3 years ago, I wouldn't have quite expressed it like that. I felt very much like this was a thing that needed to be controlled and contained, and now I feel more like, yeah, I'll lean into it. It's actually quite good.
Pretty good. I
Mm.
actually, I have. Are you done? Like, because I just remembered
Yeah,
I
yeah,
did
yeah. Go
something
for it.
this week. I actually I had a very eventful week, as in like social events and stuff like that. But I actually shipped something which is a beta version of RevenueCat integration.
Ooh, nice.
I worked with the very lovely people at RevenueCat, and
Mm-hmm.
there's a beta of this right now where you can configure your app in a certain way, and then what happens is every RevenueCat event, such as subscriptions or cancellations or uncancellations even,
Yep.
will arrive in your TelemetryDeck datasets as TelemetryDeck signals. And it
That's
seems to
awesome.
work. So I did reach out to a few of like customers of TelemetryDeck who also seem to use RevenueCat.
Yep.
I asked them to like try it out, and now I'm going to wait a little bit until they can release their next versions with that integrated, and then let's see how that goes. And then soon we can, like, I don't know, like write a huge blog posts on both RevenueCat.com and also TelemetryDeck.com, and then just
That's
like have
awesome.
another integration for your like for combining the two data sets. And that's like, even like someone from RevenueCat even told me like, hey, this is so cool because I can now run all these analyses on my on the RevenueCat data that I couldn't
Mm-hmm.
do before. Do before. So yeah,
Do do do
that's pretty
do.
neat. It's not out as in like um there's no like thing that you can click and then it suddenly happens, but the article in the telemetry deck documentation, how it works is already there.
Yep.
Hit me up on any of the social media platforms if you want to access. I can also put it in the show notes.
I want
Um,
access, Daniel,
Hang
please.
on, I'm gonna link it in the show notes. It is still in beta, which mostly means you are going to have to use the very newest version of the TelemetryDeck SDK, which is still the main branch, as in not a version number.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, it's working fine. And I still wanna like, especially wanna like test out the stuff that I need to do on the server to make sure that the data, like all the events are there, but they're still anonymized because they still need to be
Yep.
decoupled from RevenueCat users, because otherwise it's gonna be not as privacy focused. And
Yep.
yeah, like that's I wanna like remove that danger basically of
Yeah. Of crossing the
right.
streams, as it were.
Yeah, don't cross the streams.
Oh, that is really awesome to see. I'm looking at the blog post now, but yeah, I want this. I'm gonna put this into my next update of my app,
Cool.
I think.
And so this, by the way, is not using is not like using a delegate pattern to catch RevenueCat signals or events on the device and then also passing them on to TelemetryDeck, but instead it's just basically adding your user and app ID to all
Hmm.
like to the RevenueCat users, and then using webhooks, RevenueCat's webhooks,
Ah,
to actually deliver the data to TelemetryDeck,
I understand. Yeah. So
which
I
is
use
slightly safer.
I use an app called uh, RC Kit,
Mm-hmm.
which is like a utility for RevenueCat, and it receives no. I get notifications pretty much as soon as anybody's made a sale or anything, and as anybody's bought anything. Um, which I have some of them turned on. Some of them I turned off, like renewals and things. Just gets a bit noisy with
Right.
subscriptions, but and I don't want to see cancellations because it's just
Mm-hmm.
depressing. I get a dopamine hit from a sale going through, so I'll leave those on actually still. But that works. That whole notification system works with webhooks on the RevenueCat side.
Yeah, you gotta
Um,
get pretty much exactly that data in, um, you know.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah,
So that's really very cool.
and that's actually the
And
second integration with a payment provider, because we are also integrating with Jihad Gündüz's freemium kit,
brilliant,
which is also a
brilliant.
fantastic
Yes,
project. and I love it to bits.
I
And it's
I
super
think
easy.
it's great.
Yeah.
I'm not going to switch out from RevenueCat for it for my main app because it's established and working. But I'm certainly eyeballing freemium kits for future
Eyes emoji.
greenfield projects. Yes.
Fantastic.
But, right, Daniel.
All
Well,
right.
it is time for me to start my day here in New Zealand because
You
it's
gotta start
early
your
in the
day.
morning. I do. I do. So I think we need to wrap the show.
Well, in that case,
But
let me outro this. Thanks for listening. Please rate us on iTunes and on YouTube and click the likes and the subscribes and the hearts and everything. Write us a comment that says, "Hello, Daniel, your Bluebeard is fantastic." And send us emails at contact@waitingforreview.com. Please also join our Discord. The link is in the show notes. People can find you, Dave, where?
well, when I'm not straightening my hair, you can find my me online at dave@social.lightbeamapps.com. And you can find all about my apps just at lightbeamapps.com. How about yourself,
Fantastic.
Daniel?
I'm going to plug the TelemetryDeck TikTok account one more time. So go to tiktok.com/telemetrydeck. One word, I believe. Oh God, what is there's an underscore in there? There's no underscore in there. I very much hope. Anyway, that's the show for today. Have a great day. Dave, see you soon.
Thank you, Daniel. Take care, mate.
Bye.